Sewn Shutt, or Emily Hardman, was once a quiet college student who majored in textiles at Black Forest College. She was shy and awkward when it came to interacting with others due to having little interaction with her parents growing up, as they were constantly working a lot. Her first friend was a doll she named Mary, which was given to her by her kindergarten teacher, Ms. Alexia Grother. Since then, she has always been into dolls, meaning her only friends were her dolls, most of which were handmade by Emily herself, as she found it fun to create dolls with her imagination and creativity. As she got older, Emily's shy and awkward behavior didn't lighten up, so she was bullied for it by the more popular kids, who were outgoing and social. They just found her too awkward to be around, especially when she hid behind her dolls and stuttered when she spoke to others. There was one exception, a boy named Ethan Goldman, who was an upperclassman of hers. He found Emily absolutely adorable and extremely kind despite her social behaviors, but that never bothered him in the slightest. Ethan once commented on how adorable her handmade dolls were, which made her extremely red in the face, as it was the first time someone ever said that to her, so it made her extremely happy to hear. He just laughed, but not to be rude, but because he found her reaction adorable and something he wanted to cherish and protect. Both of them ended up going to the same high school, though they chose different colleges, but stayed in contact as he loved her dearly. Though it was never mentioned to Emily, it's quite obvious that he loved her genuinely. When the bullying started up again at her college due to her social behavior and her dolls, which were meant for little kids, by a girl named Amelia Scotts, Emily kept it to herself, rather than telling Ethan to worry, so he never knew she was being bullied again, especially for her hobby. Whenever the two spoke, she avoided that topic, so she pretended everything was alright, when in reality, it was the complete opposite. On that fateful day in August, her bully Amelia decided to play an awful prank on Emily with her sewing supplies. She thought it would be a fun idea to make Emily look like her childish dolls, so she made it look like she was going to apologize to Emily for making fun of her childish handmade dolls she carries around with her, but in reality, she was luring her in. When she arrived at the location, Amelia pretended to apologize, and then she asked Emily to show her the dolls and how she made them. Emily was taken aback by this sudden change, but was happy to accept her fake apology and show them to her, though when she did, Amelia's behavior started to become a bit strange. Once Amelia had one of her sewing needles due to asking Emily to show her how she made her dolls. Amelia had a creepy smile on her face. Emily was creeped out by her sudden change when Amelia started to come closer to her with the sewing needle, starting to use such crude words to her instead. Amelia began as she got hold of Emily, who tried to get away from her, but was too weak, and then she began to pierce the sewing needle and thread in her hand into Emily's lips. Emily tried to scream but couldn't as the thread from the sewing needle was beginning to dig into her skin as the needle went through as well. There was blood dripping from her mouth, though Amelia didn't stop. All she could say was, "Now you look like your childish dolls." By the end of the torture to her lips, there was blood all over her, and her lips were completely sewn shut with the black thread used to make her dolls. She should have but didn't text Ethan to tell him what just happened, so Ethan never knew what happened that day.